Hey guys, Kev here, and this is going to be a little bit of a random video. I just want to talk about 4 knives. These are 4 knives that I really love, and I was sitting here trying to think of, like, what do these 4 knives have in common? How can I put these in a video? Like, can I call them 4, X knives, 4 whatever? And I don't know. These are 4 knives that I love so much that I want to keep talking about them. You've seen all of them in videos. Nothing new here. I just want to ramble about these. Now, I think technically they all are 2023 releases. One of them we saw in 2022, but didn't actually come out till just now, I think. So, yeah, without further ado, let's talk about these knives. The first one is going to be a Vero. This is the Vero Engineering Synapse Lefty. And I've talked about this knife endlessly. I've done a bunch of videos on it. As you know, I have 2 of them. And I still have 2 of them. I really like this knife. There's just something about it. The fact that it's left-handed is awesome. But I love the Synapse in general. Now, I did have a right-handed one, and I did sell it. So it being left-handed does make a difference, because now I can, reverse flick it like anybody else. And that makes a world of difference. You're also going to notice in this video that I really like Zircutai or Damascus or whatever, Mokutai. There's a lot of it in this video. This one has the backspacer and clip. This one just has the clip. This is a black wash version with marbled carbon fiber, and this is a belt satin version with marbled carbon fiber. Both are fantastic. This one has a little bit more of a snappy detent. This one I had to tune a little bit. I've heard some feedback from the community that the QC on these wasn't quite as good as in the past. And, that kind of makes sense. Their runs are enormous at this point. I think they're doing like, 2,500 knives or something when they do runs, which is crazy. I can't speak to how many of these they made. This one's number 92. And then I have number 377. So, not sure if it goes, all the way up to something crazy. I'm guessing with the lefties, maybe they did 500, and that's a lot of lefties. Usually people do runs of like 50 to do lefties, because even that is hard to sell. Usually what I see on pre-orders for lefties, people get like 30 pre-orders. It's not great. So it's impressive that he does these large runs, and then he ends up sitting on a lot of knives. He'll sit on these lefties for probably a couple years. The Axons, I don't know if they're still in stock, but they only did 1 run of those. So I'm grateful that they do it. And, I would love to see a mini Axon frame lock in Lefty next. That would be really cool. Or a mini Impulse. But my guess is it's going to be something different. Maybe something huge. I don't know. But it's such a good knife. It's really great in the Lefty format for me. And it's just stood out for me this year, This came out in 2023, and it's been definitely one of my favorite knives this year. Again, I have 2 of them, and I haven't really spent much time thinking about selling them. I probably would sell this one, maybe, if, somebody came along and really wanted it, but I'm not, like, itching to do that or anything. Plus, with all the Damascus, I got a lot of money in these. People don't want to spend. So that's the Vero Synapse. The next one's going to be another obvious one. They're all obvious. This is the Riot XOM, and I just did a rapid review on this, so I don't want to spend too much time, but this is a Crane's Cutlery exclusive in Zircuti inlays. And I truly have just enjoyed the XOM since it came out this year. I have this other drop point with 80s camo carbon. And then I have a Tanto with burlap. And I like all of them. I think I would probably sell the Tanto, given, you know, somebody asking. And then keep these two and maybe try to get different scales. I love the 80s. I just don't know. I don't think it's that great on this knife. And I have a set of carbo tie scales coming, and I think I'm going to rock those. And then maybe I'll sell these or something. I don't know. I don't think I need 3. As much as I love the knife, it just doesn't seem necessary. And I really like the drop point because I can use it. You know, I tend to actually be able to cut really well with this drop point. I've opened a bunch of packages with it and had no issues. So, yeah, they're all in 3B, and this one just happens to have Zircuti, which is really cool. We'll see how badly I mar it up. You know, I've been pretty good with it. I mean, it's just in your pocket, so can't do too much damage, but we'll see. But yeah, fantastic knife. XOM from Riyadh. I highly recommend it. If I have links for any of these, I'll put them down below. That's, you know, I just wanted to talk about this stuff though. Yeah, as you can tell, I really like the XOM. This was in my pocket. The next one's another 2023 release that I am loving. This is the Cavil Knives Danka in my Northwoods Leatherworks slip, and I just love this knife. I know some people see this blade and they just think it's ugly, but I see a beautiful knife. This is ultra comfortable in the hand. This choil area right here, it just melts into my hand. You have this perfect spot for my thumb to land. This is like made for a medium to large glove size hand. I mean, it just fits amazingly in my hand. You have a hollow grind, right? With the sheep's footy blade. So you have a nice tip there you can use. And then this hollow grind isn't terrible, you know. They have another knife that I recently reviewed, the Shimo. Similar size, kind of style, but that one has sort of a compound, I think, and it's like a flat grind. It's like a pry bar, man. This is a very short edge, but because of the hollow, it's actually usable. It feels pretty good. I haven't had any issues when using it. It's a liner lock, and the action on it is just really good for the size. And once you get used to this thumb square, it's so good. It really works amazingly. You just get underneath it with your nail, and it flies out. You do the same with your thumb. You can also just put your thumb like that and fire it. So I tend to do the nail for the reverse flick and the meat for the thumb. And then left-handed, same thing, meat of the thumb under the nail for the reverse flick. Works amazingly left-handed because of the liner lock. And again, the ergos are great, and the fit and finish on this thing is next level. I mean, it's seriously up there with anything I've seen from Riyadh, CKF, those type of builds. You see that bark pattern on the titanium? Just stunning. Pivot collar, nice big hardware right there. Moku tie accents everywhere. The beautiful belt satin. I mean, it really just is a banger, guys. It is. I have skiffs in here. They're 5mm 1/16. No play at all. Bounces off my nail. Smooth shake down. Just, man, this thing really makes me happy. And it has no clip, which is fine. I have 2 knives without clips that are flippers. That are locking knives. So I have the Danka And then again, Northwoods Leatherworks slip. I have my Shank Knives Ally. This one could easily be on this list. I just didn't happen to think about it when I did the list. This thing's wonderful too. This is a United. This is a U.S. made knife by Shank Knives in Idaho. And they do really cool stuff. They're actually working on a prototype for us at Divo. And you see that really cool milling. This handle kind of comes down to like a pry bar look, which is really cool. I honestly don't want them to add a clip, but I think they're thinking about it. The only downside to this knife is that it's in AEBL, which is not bad. And especially for my needs, I don't need more than that. But it'd be cool if it was like Magna Cut or something else, because I paid $400 for it, you know. But it's got a really unique flipper tab. You can see dead nut centered. Inset liner lock, super unique in the sense that it is literally just this tiny lock bar. That's all that's mounted in there internally. So you don't see those screws. And it's done so well. It's made out of steel, so it locks up steel on steel, which is great. And because it's so small, that lock bar, it doesn't add any weight or anything. I like that it's steel. A lot of people, or I had people mention they wish it was titanium. I'm like, no, I like that that's steel, so you don't have any lockup or lock stick issues. It drops like it's hot, shakes down super easy, has this really interesting flipper tab that looks terrible. I mean, honestly, no jimping, nothing. It just looks like it would suck, but it fires so well. It's just a really good push button. You can light switch it. Let me see if I can get it. Yeah, you can light switch it just fine, but I always push button it like that. It's kind of like a push switch, really. You push and pull at the same time. Like that. It's a push button. I love it. It's so good. And it has that sod buster look that, I don't know, I just really love a sod buster, and this looks fantastic to me. The Ally is fantastic. I'm really excited to try their Wind River model that I think I'm going to be able to check one out this year. So we'll add the Ally in, so we'll call it, I guess that's 5 knives. And the last one is one that's just, man, I really like this knife. This is the EDC Relative. And I didn't know this, but I think this is sort of a one-off version or something. I don't know if it's a prototype or something. It has a number in here, number 38. So maybe not. But I don't know if they did a Tux version. A black PVD handle with satin hardware and collars and everything. Bead blasted clip. And then belt satin blade. And this is in 20 CV. So somebody was saying in my comments that they didn't do this version. It's kind of like a combination of 2 versions, which is cool if that's true. If it's not, it's still awesome because I love the knife. But you can see the action on this thing. It is like a bank vault. Drops, smooth shakedown, dead nut centered, literally perfect on action. That's how I want it. It's got skiff bearings in there, of course, because I took it apart and put them in there. Anything in this video with bearings has skiffs in it now. Just a beautiful knife. I love how they did the clip point Bowie look, but also kept it as sort of a spear point so that I can get into a pinch grip and just use the tip. I don't have to climb all the way up here to use a crazy upswept tip. The detent is so good, yet it works left-handed really well. Ergonomics are really good. You guys know I love a 50-50 choil. The front flipper is pretty good. I mean, it's not like my favorite front flipper ever. But once I carry it, I get the hang of it, and it really pops. But it is sort of that, like, fat, you know, tab-type front flipper. But that's perfectly fine with me. I definitely like to reverse flick it more than anything else. And we all know John likes to have multiple deployment methods, so all good here. But I love this knife very, very much. And yeah, it's another sweet one from 20 23. And that wasn't any kind of reason for this video. I literally just was looking at these knives going, man, I really love these. I wish I could just come up with reasons to make a video. And I was like, well, how about I just make a video and say I love them? So there you go. That's 5 knives, I believe. There was more because I had duplicates, but 5 knives from this year, I guess we'll call it, that I truly love and cannot get enough of. And there's the Vero. So let me know what you guys think. I really appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.